Hey, good morning, everybody. Before we get started, can you guys hear and see the screen? Just want to make sure. All right, awesome. Good morning. You guys have any plans for today? Anybody doing anything besides trading? Holiday decorating. Did you guys see my picture last night? It's really cool, right? I'm telling you, inexpensive, nice little projector. Walmart, $24. I bought 3 of them. Whole house looks like a North Pole or something in Florida. It's pretty cool. Did you get to see it? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. So we're going to get here into the main. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ES futures again. Good morning, everybody. Today is December the 4th. It is Friday, and it's been an absolute wonderful week. We've had quite a few trades in here, and I'm still holding quite a few trades. I'm still extremely bullish for the long term. Midterm, I would expect a little bit of pullback. Today, I'll be watching the 1 day, and I'm going to go ahead and show you that just here in a minute on the ES futures. First things first, it's Friday. All right, so if you've had a good week, don't stretch it. Don't overtrade today. My plan for the day is actually only spending about 30 minutes today on the open. I might trade some ES, MES on open, and then if I take anything within that 30-minute window, I will be taking set and forget trades, and most likely, just to be very transparent, some low probability trades. So what I'll be looking for are targets. We'll go over those here in a second. And the idea is to buy 0 DTE until expiration, meaning everything's going to expire today. My longer trades, I'm just going to manage. Okay. So let's go ahead and go over the ES futures. You can see here we've had this line on here for quite some time. That's the 3678 line. We've had this label on here for quite some time. Bulls need above this pivot high and hold here. If we can hold above 3678, I would say 30 minutes to an hour on open, we have a really good opportunity to reach for 3695 to 3700. All right, now my upper target, 3712. So 3695, 3712. However, when we open up on the 5-minute, we'll be watching the PMZ just like we do every morning. Below this, if we cannot get above here, I'd expect price to potentially come back into the line in the sand, where I would expect buyers to show up around 3665 and a half. Closes under 3665, potentially 3659, and then coming back to this session low at 3655. Notice on my chart, let's just go ahead and take a closer look. We have these blue lines. All this is doing is showing you the pivots. All right, so we got 2 major pivots here. Bulls need above this pivot. If anything happens between this pivot, but we don't take out the low, it's all noise. Okay, let me go ahead and take you over to the daily. Very important. All right, and I'm going to actually make this blank for you, so it's a little bit easier to see. Okay. All right, so there's a blank canvas just for you. There's an inside and up that's forming. What's important about this, we're going to go ahead and zoom in here, all right, is that this candle here is inside this candle. So that is your mother candle, all right? We're just going to draw this out for you. So right here is the mother, right? And we call this the mother upper, right? And this is the up candle over the base. All right. So far as today is concerned, we can see continuation to the upside if we can continue to stay over this base candle. So find that level on your chart and mark it. Right here, let's create an alert. At or below. And you can see that level is at or around 3671. It's just so you can understand that if we go under there, basically we're looking at a double inside. All right. Right now it's an inside and up continuation, possible continuation to the upside as long as we stay above the 3671. Okay. All right. let's move on. I want to show you the weekly candles really quick. Very important that you understand all this, especially on a Friday as we go into and over the weekend. And again, I'll be updating you with our broad market analysis by video. But we have an inside and up that happened here. All right, and this is the continuation. So this is, I just showed you on the daily. This is what it looks like on the weekly. So this nice inside and up, the trend continues up. And so everything looks really good here. The support that we have is going to be the trendy edge around 3620. This is bigger picture. And then we see the 9 EMA down here. I wouldn't say we're too extended from this, but this is always something you want to pay attention. My overall thesis is if we can move up just a little bit more, I'll be waiting for this 9 EMA to catch up to this inside and up and also to the ME. So we'll have confluence here for support. So basically your box, if you would be right in here. So we're creating and forecasting that this is where buyers live. And at some point when we move up here and we start to show that first sign of an inside candle, we'll be looking for that inside and down, and then we'll actually have a range to trade out of. Whether that comes next week or any other time soon, we don't know yet, but we need to be paying attention as those develop. Okay. All right. So there's that. And ALOX, it is in your channel to the left there. It actually says the link. Can somebody give him the link? Well, actually, don't put it in here, if you would. Don't put it in main chat. We'll just kind of guide him there here in a second. All right, let's go ahead and move on. So that's ES Futures. The rest of this should be pretty straightforward. I want to go over Square. All right, so Square is up a little bit here. It is on an inside week. What that means is I would not expect Square to move over the base of the previous week. I do not expect over 212 today. All right. So your range for right now is that the top is going to be 212. It's an inside week. It's a tight range. We have an inside and up here and a possible inside and up going into next week. I really like Square from what I can see. Your main line for today is going to be the trendy edge. You can see it here at 207.78. Let's go ahead and create an alert just right above 207.8. We're going to make this really easy. And what I want to look at is if price goes over 207.8, I'm long, okay, with a stop probably somewhere, because I'm just trading on Friday, somewhere between $1, $1.50. What I would be looking for is momentum over that trendy edge, okay, 207.80. So let's go ahead and create that alert. All right, there it is right there. And now I'm going to take you into a 4-hour candle just so you can see what's going on there. Shorter term, these are the trendy edges for the week. If we could break over 207.80, we could be seeing a nice little target here of, we're going to come over and look at these formations here, right about here, about 211. Remember, I'm not looking for over 212. If it spikes into 212, I would expect it to reject. Okay. All right, support on Square, if you look down, it's a little bit of gap fill right here at 202.5. All right, too far for me though on a Friday for that much risk. All right, so easy way, let's stay in this trade as long as the 4-hour 9 EMA holds for just Friday traders. If you're looking for swings, different story, look at your daily and your weekly 9 EMA to keep you in that trend. And if you need some kind of resistance or support numbers, please reach out to me for a swing trade. All right. Next one is SE. I think we called the bottom on this. It's done nothing but go up since we bought this. Nice little move here. Nice little break. All right. And so I closed my position yesterday, but I want to continue to see. I think we get more out of it. All right. So we broke out of the ME, which is the trendy edge. We broke out of the blue line. Okay. We got a nice pop here into 195 pre-market. Today, as far as we're concerned, let's go to a 5-minute. This is SE, okay, just like this. And we're going to take this off so it doesn't cause any confusion. We're going to measure from the line in the sand into the pivot high. You can see we're underneath the 38.2. This is important. I don't want to chase this unless it can break above 191 and a quarter or 193. All right. If we break above this level, I want my stops at or around this 50. If we break above this level, I want my stops at or around 38.2. All right. So far as I'm concerned, I think for me, for a Friday, I'm not interested unless we can get above 193. Again, we've already made money on this. So again, I don't need to jump back in. Where would I expect price to find buyers if it continues down? 188.3. All right, 188.3 on SE. Biggest thing here is don't try to catch a fallen knife. I preach this. If we reclaim, then I'm interested. It must reclaim. Higher highs, stops go in, look for the trade for the range of the pre-market to the bottom. So somewhere in here, and then you're looking at scaling out or trimming out of your position. Okay? All right. All right. So there we go on SE. And let's go ahead and move down here. We'll look at Piton. Same thing with Piton. Okay? Same thing with Piton. I think we called the bottom on this as well. Let's go ahead and look at the bigger picture. All right. I really, really like this. So when everybody else was getting concerned about a piton pullback and that it would not pick back up, you can see here, nice inside and up gave us the clue. Once it went over these base candles around 110, it was time to get long. Now we're setting ourselves up for an ACDC. All right, brand new ACDC here. So let's keep this simple. 114.75 holds on the weekly candle. 114.75 on a weekly candle because this is more set up for a swing. Okay, I'll give you the blueprint if you just want to trade it today. But far as the swing is concerned, 114.75 holds on the week. We're looking for that next target of 124.3 and then 128. Okay, 124 and then 128. Far as today is concerned, come over into probably a 1 hour candle. Don't get interested underneath the 9 EMA. Wait for the reclaim. You do have resistance at 117.22. Basically, just mellow between these green arrows and this level here at 114.35. So please mark those if you're interested today. 114.35 or so, and then we're going to come up here and mark 117.22. Just stay mellow between these. Okay, so you can create an alert above 117.22. You can create an alert at 114.32. If we break above, I like it above 117.21, 117.22. If we break below 114.32, look for reclaims. Okay, everybody understand that? We good on that? So Piton looking really, really good. And let's go ahead and go to Baba. I believe we added at the right time on this as well. And Baba's continued to push up since we added. So I really like that. I was just talking about this morning. Interesting, right? It came into our green box. It pushed really hard. We got super excited. We started buying calls for the 300, 320 about 40, 50 days out or so, I think. And then we pulled back. And then we added lower on the curve. So lower on the curve in this situation just means we're looking at trendy edges here, these pink lines. Price came down into here. This is where I added. What I'd like to see, as long as this 259 continues to hold, we get up into this area, we reject again, we break above, hold that as a base. This is my target right there. Okay, timing is the variable. Right now, again, like I said, we do have some time on these options, but we may run out of time. And depending on how fast we can get up here and test this 281, kind of tells me whether or not I need to roll into a later date. All right. All right, so we are pretty much finished. I don't think I want to go over anything else unless you all have something you would like to cover, and then I'll happily do a quick blueprint on it. So please speak up if you'd like to see something. All right. AMD, just really quick, 92.50. It's up a tad. It's pulled back. The bigger focus here, I need everyone who's watching, take your Fibonacci's, go ahead and measure from this range. And as long as it's holding 40%, stay in this trade. All right, for me, as long as price is staying above 90.79, I like it. I like it more over 96, and I think in the next couple weeks we can see 100 to 110, 100 to 110. Okay, that's the bigger picture on AMD. Let's go ahead and look at ABBV. And for this one, is this a longer term, Roberto? Okay, cool. And let's go ahead and look here. All right, first things first, let's go ahead and put Fibonacci's on this previous high into the pivot low. And you can see that price has broken the golden Fibonacci, which is the 618. All right, I have quite a few lines on here. Let's go ahead and take those off so those don't get in our way. And let's look at it from a Fibonacci perspective. 101.53 holds, we're going to see 118. Okay. 101 holds, we're going to see 118. Before we get there though, we are at and pretty close to that first target I gave you back in the day, 107.17. Okay, above that, 110.81. I would expect a hard rejection up here around 110. This is the imposter level. I'd expect it to pull back a little bit, probably right into here, and then later on in time again, 118. All right. So again, this is lined up. You can see this level here for supply and demand traders is lined up to that big inside and down. All right. So I would expect rejection around there, but 118 being the target as long as 101.53 can hold. All right. I think that's pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and look at Apple. All right, Apple. So just the sideways trade, it moved pretty nice in the beginning of the week, and now we're just kind of hanging out. Let me get you a nice clear picture. All right. Now, what's important about this is we had 3 weeks down, and this is our first week that we're kind of closing up. And actually, even though it's kind of going sideways for the last couple days, it's closing really strong on the week, especially if we close at the very top here. I'd expect a gap up into next week if we can close strong here into at or around that 125 level, and then a push potentially into 128. Currently, we're at 122. The biggest level for you going forward is going to be 120.25. 120.25, set an alert there. Price needs to stay above 120.25. If so, we continue to 125, 128. Okay, again, 120.25. All right, so Uber, let's go ahead and take a look at that, Shaya. Uber looking pretty strong. This actually popped up. If you guys remember, I gave you an ETF just the other day. What was the name of it? I'm trying to remember. And it has these transportation like BK and G and so forth in there. Anyways, so this popped up on my phone yesterday. I got a quick alert. We are extending here. This looks like all-time high. Is that correct? So we want to figure out where are the extension targets because we don't have candles to the left. And when we don't have candles to the left, we have to use Fibonacci extension. Yes, thank you, Money Trees. Away. The ticker symbol for that ETF is away, AWAY. I encourage anyone that's listening out there, go ahead and take a look at it. All right. It looks like it's ready to move. So we got this nice chaotic candle. I'm actually going to use this range. All right, and I'm going to use it as if price has not moved up this far. And typically I would go right to this all-time high and I would click here. All right, if you look over to the left, these are extension targets. So our next target for Uber comes in at around $55, Shaya. All right, now I know that you have the scripts as well. So as long as 50.11 holds the bigger time frame, we're looking for 55 for right now. Your extension above that is 57, and then 100% extension from the range that I used is going to be 60. All right, so 50.11. Here's how I like to approach this. It looks a little extended. Notice that the 9 EMA on the weekly is confluent with the trendy edge. When price leaves a trendy edge, we always look for price to come back and retest that. Notice price has left but has not come back. So that, for me, that's a yellow flag. Just keep that in mind. We're extending a little bit here. It's at the trendy edge, and the methodology is when price is above the trendy edge and we move into a trendy edge, we look for it to be support. So this is very confluent with the methodology and overall of the chart. All right. Now midterm, if it is a strong gap up and it holds, it's going to hold 50.11. Okay. So starters here, and the reason why I say starters is because we're extended here. And on a pullback, okay, if we start to pull back into this ME, then I would add here on a reclaim and then be looking for this 55. All right, that's just me. So again, 55, 57.34, and 60.13 are going to be the targets. And PFE. All right, so check this out. This is a great demonstration. Um, you can see here how well the edges work. All right, these are some old blueprints I had on here. I'm going to go ahead and clear that drawing set really quick. You can see we had support at the edge and moved up into the edge. It was resistance. Supply and demand traders, you can also see that there's a big move out of this zone here. And because of that, the trendy edge is already identifying things before they happen. And so we already know we don't need to look for candle formations or anything like that. We're simply looking for the edges. So here it's resistance. This pink line for right now is support. It's at 39. 39.98 by 40. 39.11 is your number there, poker. It needs to stay above that, man. And this kind of reminds me of the Uber that I just showed you. We have extended quite a ways from the weekly on the 9. So just a yellow flag there. All right. So, but it doesn't have to come back to there. We know that. The EMA can actually push up and during consolidation and then become support. So 39.11 might be that level that you see on a pullback and nothing more than that. So please keep that in mind. 39.11 holds. It looks like consolidation going into next week. If I was going to sell premium, I'd be looking at call credit spreads. That's just me. Selling the 41 and then buying something right above it. I wouldn't expect price to break above there within the next week, but if it does, you can always let go of the short side and ride the longs to the upside. That would be my approach on here. Okay. All right, let's look at pin. All right, PENN. This looks like it's ready to go, right? We had some extensions already on here. These are some old targets I gave you. All right, just like that. What I like to do, this is kind of a cool trick. If anybody's paying attention, want to write down some notes. Just like a trend line, the way that I like to find my top is I want a line that goes across here that touches all these major topping wicks. So really, at the end of the day, that's the trendy edge, that pink line right there. So 73.82, okay, set an alert there for a break above. And then I would just, watch it and make sure it can stay above the 9 EMA. All right. So again, I don't want to touch this trade unless it breaks above 73.82. Why? Because we have topping wicks. Topping wicks suggest a lot of bear behavior right at those levels, and you can see that is quite clear. So we need a foundation above 73.82. Everything else is noise. Again, set those alerts, guys. This is what I do. So I'll get these phone alerts. I don't even need to look at a chart. All right. It's just important that you make good notes. So if you create an alert here, you can say something like several tests, here, and then say what you want to do. Long, this thing moves at a ATR of 9, break it down into 5, 5 and that. I would say stops, around 250. That's just me. And that's my plan. So it's easy as that. All right. NAIL, this trade I almost took yesterday, because it had pulled back so much. This was such a great alert that we had. We alerted this at 28, right here at the trendy edge. Check this out. This is literally where we alerted, and it moved, all the way up to here, exactly where I thought it was going to move, right into this inside and down. Like you can't make that stuff up. It pushes in, reject. Now we look for consolidation. Okay, now it came into this level. I just noticed that 42, 87, 41, 40 and pushed up nicely. All right. So what you want to see here, all right, is that we start to make higher highs before I take this trade. So this is a weekly candle. I want to see a weekly candle that either goes inside next week and then that next week we make a higher high. Then I'm looking for targets up here again, and then potentially right here. All right, so this one we need to wait a little bit, give it a little bit of time, and just hang out. Again, I want you to really focus on the broad market. Broad market, this is how I'm looking at it. I was just talking about this morning. We're at highs. The rest of the market looks like it needs a breather. Some names, they need some momentum, like our favorite names like Amazon, right, and Apple. But instead, what's happening is I feel, we're kind of topping out, um, just maybe for about a week or so, or 2 to 3 days, like your normal pullback. So be patient. If you're holding on to positions, know where you want to stay in. All right, set your stops, but also try not to put on too many new trades right now, especially net long, until we can confirm that we can hold those bases over the highs. All right, and let's look at UPS. And this will be the last one I look at right before we go into getting ready for the trading day. So UPS, man, what an amazing move, right? This thing looks like some sort of like, I don't know, like a snake. Is that what you guys would call it? It's ready, man. Look how symmetrical this is. Boom, right? Inside and down right here. All right, we teach all this. This is really, really cool. I want you guys just really quick, I'm going to dissect this for you. Anybody that's watching, inside and down, strong pressure down. You don't want to be in this trade when price is reaching up into these levels. Notice the topping wicks as we come into these levels. We pull back pretty hard. Yes, overall trend yearly is extremely bullish, but the weekly and the monthly, our trendy methodology shows that the trend is neutral. When you see something like this, two yellows and a green, you think, hey, it's a great stock, but mentally you need to be ready for the long game because the yellow is indicating that we're just consolidating in a yearly extreme bullish trend. So you need to just stay patient. This is not one of my favorite trades right now. Again, consolidation. If you're doing iron condors, or you're selling put credit spreads or call credit spreads, or both, iron condor, then I like the trade. For far as naked directional, I'm not interested until it can hold a base above the trendy edge, which is 171.30. Okay, I'm on the weekly. So again, broad market, we're at the highs. I want to be paying attention to the higher time frames right now, unless you are specifically just looking to trade pre-market, or not pre-market, just for the day, intraday. Okay. Yeah, and then crowd, let's go ahead and take a look just really quick. I'm almost there. So crowd, we're at 159. They had an upgrade. They closed at 161 yesterday. We'll see if they can come back later in the day. All right. All right. So I'm going to jump over here to the ES, and we're up 9 still. Let's go ahead and take you into a 5-minute. All right. I do have the intraday fibs on here. Anyone out there that's watching, we have, we're in an uptrend. So I'm paying attention to just these numbers that you see on my screen. You can also see that we have the PMZ, which is hanging out here. And this is called a positive negative. We had 3 minutes to open. All right, folks. So the positive negative indicates that a higher probability trade, if we can't get over this section within the first couple minutes, I'd expect price to come all the way back down here to the list. I'm not bullish until price starts holding above the PMZ. The PMZ risk today is 2.5. So on ES, right, you could do the math, it's $50 per point. On MES, it's only $5 per point. So if you really want to try out the trendy methodology and you want to try out futures, always start with the micros, less risk, always use stops, always use targets, and then we look for entry. This is pretty easy. This is how it looks. It's actually on my website. You can see, so entries above here, stops below here, and then our targets are the ones I have provided. Let me go ahead and get you off a blank here and get you into the 4-hour. There we go. And we got our targets right there. All right, so your targets are 36.82. If we can break above here, again, you have to look at the risk to reward. So 2.5 points of risk. And then if we were to take it right above this, around 36.77, then you're looking at, about 5 or 6 points to the upside. So again, 2.5 for 6. Bigger picture again would be right up here at 36.95. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed everything. Don't forget over the weekend, we have some specials coming up. Please check out TrendyTrading.co. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I'll be happy to answer them as soon as I get some free time. I appreciate everybody. Again, good luck today. It's Friday. As my friend John Carter says, don't lose your ass on a